What is the most annoying question you are sick of seeing again and again on this sub? Sexers of Sexit. How much sexual sex do you sexy sexers sex? Sextillion times so far. Story behind your username. Why America sucks as according to an outsider's perspective? Dead people of Reddit. What's it like being dead? Why Trump sucks is great? Interestingly enough, this sub becomes more and more political. Years ago you would be banned for politics as is against the rules. Nowadays they seem to let it go, which bothers me a lot, since all subs which are political or allow political posts are clearly propaganda circle jerk posts for a certain side. What do you think of asterisk news headline in the US asterisk? Exactly. Reddit. How are you doing? Quote. Luckily most of those seem to get removed now, which is good since they're nothing but attention, karma whoring by the op. And the answer is always depressed, or any variation. What do you think of asterisk insert whatever the fuck else is happening in America asterisk? Here outside the US we're also sick of what's happening. Also, how does pussy, sex feel? Anything related to 2020. What happens next in 2020? Another repost of this same response will happen in 2020. What's your username mean? Or, if your username was a blank, what would happen? Or, what would you do if your username came to underscore you in the underscore with underscore. Quote. Or, your username is how you die, what happened? Or, your username is what saves you from death. How fucked are you? How could 2020 get better? I just keep replying to that with free ice cream. But yeah, I agree. I've seen that 3 times just today. How do you feel about asterisk American politica? Yeah, as if the world doesn't have their own problems. I have been here for almost 9 years, so pretty much all of them, including this one. Women of Reddit. What do you think about sex? It's like our AskReddit goes through puberty every hour. If 2020 was a song, what song would it be? If 2020 was a movie, what movie would it be? If you could describe 2020 in one word, what would it be? If it was a movie, it would be the movie that's playing in the theater when you accidentally sit in a seat that's been barfed on and has dirty hypodermic needles sticking out of it, and the floor is solid with slugs. And then someone releases millions of hornets. Asterisk racists, sexists, Karens, other group of people who clearly will not respond. Why are you awful? Asterisk. No one ever responds to those sits. A lot of people like that are not on Reddit as much. Questions related to usernames. Concepts of making 2020 better, worse. Time machine, superpower scenarios. What movie scarred you as a kid? Quote. Asking the opposite gender something stupid. What your opinion on current political event? Quote. Non-Americans. How do you view? Seeing these questions repeatedly make me want to scream, monsieur. What is the most annoying question you are sick of seeing again and again on this sub? What is the most annoying question you are sick of seeing again and again on this sub? What is the most annoying question you are sick of seeing again and again on this sub? What is the most annoying question you are sick of seeing again and again on this sub? What is the most annoying question you are sick of seeing again and again on this sub? X of Reddit. No point clarifying the Reddit part. You can't comment without an account. What's the worst response to I love you? Might be the single most reposted question. Do they seriously do X in America? Welcome to 3rd grade social studies. People do different things in places that aren't yours. Dear Reddit, how are you? Fuck you. You're venting it all out here, aren't you? Everything related to America or 2020 and questions involving usernames. You aren't wrong. Who is the male version of a Karen? What's a non-sexual thing that's better than sex, an orgasm, etc.? Is there any? I mean, yeah, but the answers are always the same. What is something that annoys you? It's always the same answers. Would you support thing that everyone obviously supports? What's the most pain you've ever been in? Quote, what's the scariest thing you've ever seen in real life? Quote, and of course, I want something new to masturbate to. So here's a thinly veiled attempt masquerading as a question. Quote, the last one seems a valid concern. Convicts of Reddit, what's the most something about prison thing that you've seen whilst locked up? Also, it's filled with not a convict but, like STFU if you ain't a convict. How will insert something about 2020 happen, and which celebrity death will hit you the hardest? Why do people put so much emotional stock in what celebrities do or think? I get you. What benefit has come from quarantine? Yeah, this one too is being posted bazillion times now. Non-Americans is Reddit. Which of the 10 American things you always complain about do you want to complain about today? Quote, this drives me crazy. How would people feel if we did questions like, other countries of Reddit? What is your least favorite thing about UK, France, Europe, Africa, Germany, China? Yeah, it's not a very nice question. How can 2020 get worse? I know it's been a shit year, but I'm sick of people posting this over and over. Yes, we get it. You think it'll be even worse. But only one person needs to post it? I'm sure there'll be enough answers on just one. There's one every hour. What are some examples of dumb people so I can feel better about myself? How did you get that scar? Questions about what the most annoying questions are that you are sick of seeing again and again on this sub. Don't care at all. Stupid questions are obvious and don't get clicked, and interesting repeats have a bunch of new interesting answers to read. No, stupid, annoying, repetitive questions often make it to the top of hot. Does somebody make you go read them or something? Just scroll past. You got a nice perspective, mate. What movie title best describes XYZ? You mean 2020? What are your thoughts on gigantic concept ones? Like, what are your thoughts on religion? Or, what are your thoughts on all of human existence? Or, what are your thoughts on the universe? Quote, some bullshit about current events trying to either stir up sympathy, what can I do to help, or just trying to piss people off. All for those sweet fake internet points. People of Reddit! Exclamation mark. What is the first thing you are going to do once quarantine is over? And I am sure no one answered. Riots. Fourth-year colonial American sexology PhD students of Reddit. What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen? Quote, so not a colonial sexologist, but here's a weird story I heard once blank. What are you listening to right now? How are you doing? Question ending in why or why not. Point. But why? Or why not? What can make this year better? Any question that's about the other gender, especially when it's about dating. Like, I get it. Op doesn't understand boys, girls, and them asking questions is better than them not. What really gets to me are the answers. A lot of people attribute certain qualities in people to gender. I'm not going to pretend that boys and girls don't have different typical behaviors. But that's almost entirely at the fault of our society, not genetics. Yet so many people in answers will just be like, haha, that's a girl-boy thing. But I think the dating advice bugs me the most. I remember one question that was something along the lines of, how do I hint to a guy that I like? Hi monsieur, and so many people answered with, oh, haha, boys are stupid and can't notice hints. People take these things that apply to everyone, and they just apply them to one gender. Like, seriously. Unless you know what to look for, it's hard to notice if someone has a crush on you. And it's not like girls automatically know what to look for. Stuff like that has nothing to do with gender. And yet it bothers me that so many people think it does. Reddit. What if something totally latte random XD cheeseburger happened to you? What if you turned into a potato? P. Why are you single? I actually don't mind answering the question. I am single because I like being single. But it comes up every other week. Yeah, I am single right now since I have no interest in dating and stuff in my life. It's real none of random strangers' business why I'm not interested in having a relationship at this point in my life. What is the worst way to die? I've seen like 5 times in the last 30 minutes. Anything about movies, whether it's quotes, movies themselves, or characters. You wake up and you are the younger age with all your current knowledge. What do you do? That's interesting, TBH. Not the question but the flair. Inmates, prisoners, or ex-convicts of Reddit. They never flare. It is serious and people give some really dumb answers. Anything with the word username. If you are stranded on a deserted island. Shut up, we told you, when the teacher asked on the first day of class. Mostly I'm just sick of questions that are obviously from teenagers. Would you stop eating pizza for $1 trillion? Yep. There are a lot of questions by people who seemingly have zero perspective on life and no idea how much a dollar is worth. The sad fact is there are billions around the world who would humiliate themselves for a living wage. What's the worst way to die? I don't want to read that question where they say something like, if convenience stores sell needed everyday items, what do inconvenience stores sell? Quote. Or something like that, where it's the opposite, negative version of something. America-centric questions. Whenever something vaguely big happens, they feel the need to ask everyone about the US. What's more dangerous than most people think? It's always the same answers word for word, and I somehow see it with almost 50k upvotes every month it pops up. If you were given X amount of money, how would you spend it? On a scale of 1 to bad. How bad? 2020 bad? Quote. Why is 2020 literally the worst year in the entirety of existence? What is the worst country in the world and why is it the USA? Quote. You are offered $10 trillion if you will do something incredibly stupid and unlikely. Do you accept? Hey, if you don't actually have the money. STFU. Why do you wear masks in cars? Any questions about Trump? Yes. I get that Reddit is filled with left-wingers, and as a rare exception to this, I would like to point out that ***, it's getting old ***. The classic, what's the sexiest sex you've ever sexed? What have you learned about yourself during quarantine? Anything sex-related, or video game-related, or what cover song is better than the original? Everyone always says Hurt by Johnny Cash. It's a circle jerk at this point. How do you type with boxing gloves on? What's your favorite song and why is it Johnny Cash? Hurt. LPT. If you want to encourage actually good AskReddit posts, then sort by new or rising and respond in. Upvote fresh and original questions. Americans, do you support socialized healthcare? Non-Americans of Reddit. Earlier this morning was at least 1 or 2 on every page on this sub. JFC. People that sleep nude. What are you going to do if there is a house fire? I actually answered it one time. I've done it so long. I know exactly where my PJs are laying on the bed. It takes me 3 seconds to get dressed. So no big difference there, and I go commando also. Are you going to ask me about that? No, I've never caught my manhood in my zipper. I'm always careful. Don't even want to think about that. And besides, why are you worried about my naked ass anyway? Do I turn you on or something? But that was like the 5th time a day for 5 days and it had done pissed me off. Somebody got butt hurt. But I've never cared if I made somebody butt hurt before. Why should I start now? There are others. That's just the one I've thought about. RN. Anything political. This kind of post. What is your spooky ghost unexplained spooky paranormal story? Anything related to 2020. Both the how 2020 bad, what will be next bad questions. The if 2020 was random implicitly bad thing questions, and the what would make 2020 better questions. As the answers to those are never anything we could actually do, and to combine them as an exaggeration for effect. Always stuff like COVID kills everyone of ideology I hate, before spontaneously killing itself, and smart people left turn world into sci-fi utopia, then benevolent aliens land and I get to basically live Star Trek with my girlfriend and my genetically Engineered catgirl companion. She's totally fine with me sleeping with anything, giving some scenario based on one's username or last text. Which fictional villain was actually right? Only because every time that gets asked since Endgame 90% of the comments are Thanos. You can only send aliens one person, piece of media, etc. to give them a good impression of humanity, save it from destruction. What is it? Annoying question because you have no idea how the aliens would interpret what they find, e.g. I could show them this show Eureka to make them think we're all science geniuses and they could just see all the science disasters and think we need babysitting. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.